Hey guys, my name is Erdin and I'm a German final year medical student currently working in Switzerland. For the past 30 days I've been working in the
Hey guys, it's me. I should have said emergency department with the neurologist instead.
Of this beautiful hospital behind me. I wanted to show you what a typical day looks like. An important disclaimer, I'm not being paid by anyone, nobody is sponsoring me, just make that clear.
Let me show you where I am. I'm in this beautiful country right here, and this is the Inselspital in Bern. Bern is the capital of Switzerland with a rich culture and arts, architecture, tasty food and the river Aare that flows through the city. I actually jumped in there myself with two friends. It was freezing cold but definitely worth it. I was amazed by the kindness of the Bernese people and really grew to love their way of living. Okay, enough talking, let's get to work. After getting to the emergency unit, first I'll find a desk, then I put on my coat and get an espresso.
I lied, there is a number 4. I always bring my own keyboard and my mouse. Okay, I just came back from telling my supervising doctor that I'm here and that I'm ready for work. I also took my phone and the pager so that I'm accessible at all times. So with all of that done now, we're ready. This right here is the main entrance. It says Notfallzentrum Patienteneingang, which translates to emergency center entrance for the patients. Very important, masks. And the first thing that you see is this registration desk and the triage rooms where it is decided which patient should be treated first. So this here is the Universitäres Notfallzentrum. When we go through these doors here, we get to the main area where everything happens. So this is usually the room where all the neurologists sit. Then here we've got the internal medicine and the surgery guys. And this here is the station of the nurses. Nurse station A and a nurse station B right over there. Phew, we got really lucky with that empty doctor's room there. In the typical YouTube manner, I want to show you my workstation here. So, consists of a nice keyboard, a nice mouse, 2 desktops, and a big telephone to feel important. Now that I'm ready, it's time to wait for patients to come. And while we're at it, I can tell you how that works here. So, generally, a patient is sent here by either their family doctor or they've called the ambulance. There are, of course, 1,000 other ways to come here, but those are the main ones. When patients are admitted here, they're usually assigned to one of the disciplines here, which is either surgery, internal medicine, otorhinolaryngology, ophthalmology, or of course, neurology. So these are all patients that are coming, and this is the triage numbers, which means that the more urgent a patient is, the higher he is in this hierarchy. This stands for internal medicine, neurosurgery, internal medicine, surgery, and otorhinolaryngology. This way, the doctors can already read up on the patient history even before the patient arrives. But as the overarching mantra of working in the emergency department is to save time, working like this really makes sense. Patients coming to the neuro ER have, for the most part, some neurological deficit or nausea, vertigo, some headache, or of course the classical facial paralysis. When patients are then admitted to the neurological emergency unit here, I go to my supervising doctor and ask him whether I can assist somehow. Most of the time I can assist in, for example, doing the patient history or doing a basic neurological examination. And then there is an examination that is super crucial and has to be done very accurately and very quickly. This examination is called the NIHSS score, which helps you to very quickly objectify the neurological deficits of a patient. But all of this, of course, happens only after checking back with your supervising doctor. That way, no errors happen. So a new stroke patient has been admitted now. We just saw it in the computer system, and this is the room the stroke patient will be delivered to. So obviously the bed, some monitoring back there, a computer, and then in a few minutes the patient will arrive through here. Then this room will be filled with doctors and nurses and of course the paramedics that have brought the patient. While we are waiting for the patient to come, I can show you where the patient will then arrive. Let's get out of the emergency department here. They usually arrive through there, and then the ambulances park around here. The patient is then brought through this door here, and then on the right side we've got the entries to the shock rooms, and we've got 3 shock rooms here, number 3, 2 and 1, And then when you get inside these shock rooms, it looks like this. So you've obviously got tons of equipment. The patients coming here are nearly always in critical condition, so it's really important to have everything right there. You've got obviously an ultrasound machine to see whether there is any free blood in the abdomen or anywhere else. We've got the machines for the anesthesiologist, and obviously lots of screens to keep overview. And I can actually show you something really cool. If you check out this screen here, you can see that there are 2 helicopters that have landed, and probably one of these helicopters has just brought the patient. This can be quite overwhelming when you see how many people are in here, and it's a lot of loud talking and making sure that the patient survives. Something I find really cool is this right here. These are all stickers that you can take and put on your coat so that everybody else can directly see and understand from which discipline you are. This again saves a lot of time and makes sure that the correct people are addressed when needed. Something really good about the shock rooms here is you can take the patients from here and bring them directly to the CT scan. Saves a lot of time when it's about saving lives. So to make sure that no sensitive information is seen in the videos, Didier from the Inselgruppe is accompanying me for some parts of the filming. Thanks Didier for helping out.
Always glad we can help.
And you just checked the footage.
Yeah, just checking everything's okay. So it's our job to really make sure that the patient's data is protected and everything's okay. So
yeah,
we're glad we have you.
I'll get back to work and then make sure to help some patients.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, man. Bye-bye. Okay, so we just arrived at the neuroradiology department here, and we're going to do a MRI. With the help of the MRI, we can see inside of the brain, see whether there is any change, for example, in the perfusion, if there is an ischemic stroke or a hemorrhage. And also big thanks to the neuroradiology department for allowing me to film here. The magnet of that machine is super strong, so if I step over here, my camera and everything that's out of metal will just fly straight in there, and we don't want that. All of what has just happened is super standard procedure. Whenever a patient comes with acute neurological deficits, so that means that something that is controlled by the nervous system doesn't work anymore, we do a quick examination of the neurological status, and right after we have a rough overview over the extent of the neurological deficit, we make sure to take a picture of the brain, either via an MRI or a CT scan. So now we know that the patient has a stroke, and we also know the extent of the stroke. And in order to save as much of the brain as possible, we will start the therapy as quickly as possible. I, for my part, just got back here. Before I sit down, I want to show you something really cool that's there. Here you can see a screen of all the rooms and hallways that lead to the emergency department. This way you can see if anybody is coming here. And live monitoring data of the patients. This way you can see any irregularities in oxygenation, heart rate. You have a live EKG, and you can also see the blood pressure.
Work can make you hungry, which is why we took our food and went to the roof of the building to eat. There are always other people to chat with, and sometimes you can even watch the helicopters land. Having a chill moment on the panorama roof helps with relaxing and refilling your energy tanks. Here I was listening to my friend talk about the intricacies of the triathlon sport and how to pick the correct bike. After a solid 45 minutes, we got back to work. I got an espresso to rekindle my focus and went straight to my desk to catch up with all the patients that came in during my break.
Something I find really interesting and super nice about working here is whenever you hear about an interesting patient from one of the other disciplines, for example, internal medicine or surgery, you can directly go to them and ask them if they can tell you a little bit about that.
And the same goes for all the medical students working there. As I'm from the neurology, I shared what I learned about neurological examinations with the medical students from the surgery department.
One thing that always has to be done is documenting your work, taking patient history, asking about allergies or medication. Sometimes that takes a lot of time, but it's super crucial. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. Looks like there's no more work today for me, so I'll check out with my supervising doctor and then I'll go home.
Also, wir kommen dann dazu beim Stroke-Protokoll.
All right, I wanted to make sure to say goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. If there is nothing else I can do today I'd go home.
See you tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, see you.
Packing your stuff and handing over the telephone and the pager is super satisfying. There are only a handful of things that feel better than that.
I think I can finally take off this mask here. So there you go. That's been the day, a typical day in the life of a last year medical student working in the neurological emergency department. Today also just so happens to be the last day of my time here at the Inselspital in Bern. I really want to, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you to all the people that took great care of me while I was here, to all the people that really made the days so special. And of course, I also want to say thank you to the head of the neurological department here that allowed me to come here and work for 2 months at their clinic. Being here really was a blast, and I hope that this is not the last time that I'll be working here. So from the bottom of my heart, danke vielmal. Okay, are you guys ready for some bonus content? So I want to show you what I have in the pockets of this beautiful coat that I wear here every day. Let's start with this pocket here. So attached to the pocket is my badge. And then I have 3 pens here, 3 different colors. Right here I've got a reflex hammer. Pretty important for a neurologist. Got a little notebook right here, a stroke guideline book, and also a neurological emergency guideline book. These little booklets come in handy nearly all of the time, and a big thank you to the people that came up with this idea. It's really good. 2 more things in this pocket. Of course, a lamp to check pupil reflexes and a telephone. So I'm moving to the last pocket. We've got a tuning fork here. When you do this, you can see a triangle forming here, and the tip of this triangle keeps moving upward. Then you can ask the patient at what point he doesn't feel the vibration anymore. And then I also have a pager here. And of course, it always comes in handy to have a stethoscope, especially in the emergency unit. And the last thing I have in my pocket, some disinfectant. This always comes in handy, no pun intended. So naturally, with full pockets, this coat gets really heavy.